when you do it, then a whole new world opens up to you. And it's to do with the way you look at the Ukraine war. It's to do with the way you look at the so-called climate crisis. It's to do with the way you look at the genocide in Gaza. It's the way you look at the regime change wars that the US and NATO rolled out around the world. 7 wars in 5 years. Finally culminating in war in Iran. And everything that's happening around, right up to and including, the latest. You've got to be specific now about which, assassination attempt on Donald Trump you're actually talking about. You mean the most recent one? Yes. And people, the net effect of this post-trust society in which we now find ourselves is that so many people, when they heard the news or watched the footage of that happening to Donald Trump, or in the vicinity of Donald Trump, most of the people I know just rolled their eyes and said, yeah, that'll be right. Yeah, I bet. Now that's absolutely extraordinary. A lifetime after JFK in Dallas in 1963 and the Zapruder film and all of the rest of it. Now, when there's an alleged attempt on the life of the leader of the free world, an extraordinary number of people's automatic reflexive response is, no, I don't believe that. That's extraordinary. And that is where we're being brought by COVID.
So you bring up a remarkable point, and I just happen to have this loaded in for the show today. There's new video now of a security guy with a security dog. So in here is a room where they were having bar carts and things. They were storing them. And a lady was in there. And you know what? Let me just show you the lady talk about
this
it.
is for fair use.
I think that's it. So here, this woman is talking about that.
Fair use at educational and entertainment purposes only. Disclaimer.
Yeah, and everyone was pretty much in, and a lot of people had already gone. We were just doing dinner breaks and shows. Yeah. And I was just out there, and there was still security there, and I was even talking to the security guard that had a dog there. Yeah. And there's a room. Well, it was like a makeshift room. I think they had it closed off to wheel in the bar carts after the reception. All these numerous bar carts going into this area, I think, to go in the elevator downstairs. So it looked like a makeshift room. I mean, he was literally from me to that building, and there was a security guy there too. I mean, I don't think anyone knew what he was doing.
Dealership pricing? No thanks.
Wow, your new TV looks really awesome. It must be very expensive, right?
Not at all. We're now working with the
I'm not even sure what he looks like.
What do you think he's the shooter? How do you know?
I saw him put the gun together and start shooting.
So she's saying that she was in this room. I'm going to show you the room. This room right here. And she says there was a security guy there. There's the security guy with the dog. She describes it. She said she was in that room and she was even talking to this guy. And now let's watch what this guy does. And she saw him put the gun together, which means that this guy must have seen him put the gun together if he was. So let's watch this, okay? And we'll play it a couple times because every time you watch it, it gets crazier. Let's watch. So there he is. He goes in there. That's the guy. The dog follows him in. The dog knows. Thumbs up. Now here's the security guy. Hey, get back. He takes the back. He's still looking in there. The dog wants to go back in. Hey, there's something up with this guy. The dog, I guess, missed the training the night before about, hey, we're gonna have a fake shooting. And then there he comes running out. And then of course there's the cops running the other way. I'm going to guess that dog wasn't at the meeting where they prearranged the entire incident, because dogs can smell the game before you play it. So let's watch it again. Just as that woman described, there was a security guy there. There was a security guy there with a gun. Let's watch. But there he goes. He's in. He's going in. And a dog follows immediately. And there's a security guy with the dog. The dog wants to go back in. And then seconds later, how did he not see that guy putting the gun together and come running out? And then, of course, those guards, obviously trained in Israel, run the other way.
We ought to be speechless, really. The kind of natural, most believable default response to that is just disbelief. But as I say, we now for whatever reason, for good or ill, we now find ourselves in a situation where too many people just don't believe what they're being told. An event of some significance is pitched at them. This has happened, and it's terribly, terribly important. And too many people look at the official narrative and think, well, it won't be that then. This may or may not be something of great import. I think I'll pay some attention to it, but I definitely don't think it's what I was told up front by the authorities. And this is a ridiculous / dangerous state of affairs for all of us to be in. It's like the crying wolf scenario. People have become aware of too much propaganda. They've been told too many lies. They're sensitive to it. They don't know where to look. They don't know what to believe. But now the response to an event like this is cynicism and skepticism. I think that's extraordinary. But it's where we are.
Well, it all seemed engineered so they could get their ballroom built. And it's not about the ballroom. Everybody now is pretty aware that it's about whatever is going underneath the ballroom, right? And so people have figured that out. They changed the architects, and the architects is a Jewish architect. They changed it to a Jewish architect firm that specializes in temples, a special kind of temple.
Why? Explain to me, Jimmy. I keep asking people about this. It doesn't make sense to me that if there was a perceived need for a very, very safe space, deep underground or whatever, you wouldn't draw everyone's attention to it,
right?
Why would you invite everyone to at least suspect, if not know, that a space of extreme importance to the US administration was right there with those GPS coordinates on it?
So the ballroom, or we could say the ball, B-A-A-L, ball is in the god of child human sacrifice, ballroom. What's going to be underneath the ballroom is a huge data center sponsored by Google, Amazon, etc. So that's what's going on underneath the ballroom right there next to the Washington, D.C. Capitol, the White House.
Up to and including an attempted assassination attempt on the president, which then becomes the supposed proof that this place is needed. I just don't get it. It's going to be the most conspicuous four walls on planet Earth.
100%. I want to play this one more time, just to show that
it's great. It's great. I particularly like the way the dog obviously didn't get the memo.
The dog missed that meeting where they prearranged this entire false flag. So there the guy goes. He goes in. The dog immediately goes after him. Cop completely incurious. Dog tries to go again. No, get away from the guy. He's putting his gun together. Let's turn my back on the guy. And then he comes running out. By the way, the metal detector doesn't even go off. And then the cops
run the other way.
They run the opposite direction of somebody with a gun. I guess that's how they're trained. And you can definitely tell that they're trained over in Israel because the dog is smarter than them. You could hear the Benny Hill music playing in the background as those cops run the other way instead of running after him. So and there's another piece of video. So here again, there's the.
Notice the CCTV camera footage is way clearer than the official used in court. This is the footage used in court.
And misses him. Completely misses.
This is the footage used in court. If you notice, the CC camera footage that was released to the public, very blurry, like 1990s CCTV camera footage. And I think that was done for a reason. Now you're going to see who shot. This officer over here was the one who shot. This officer was the one in the back, I think, that got hit in his vest. Jimmy points that out later. This is the Jimmy Dore show, so Pretty good stuff. May 1st,
The
2026.
guy with so there's several things about this video I want to show you. So we'll play this a couple times too. So let's watch. So here he comes running out, and this guy starts shooting. They miss him. Nobody got him.
As Jimmy mentions, the
This guy
crossfire
there,
coming up here.
I'm told he shot at least 4 bullets. Missed him with every one. And he didn't do
Where did the bullets go? They must have gone somewhere.
Well, that's what they're saying. So the report was, go back to this. The report was that there was one Secret Service guy hit in the chest. He was probably hit by this person and not the alleged assassin. Because we can't even confirm that the alleged assassin even fired his gun. So this is slow down. Here he comes. And I want to show you something. I don't know if you can see it yet. So he starts, there he goes, starts shooting, misses, shoots again, misses, 2 feet away, misses, keeps shooting, misses. There's a guy immediately behind him. He's trying to shoot him. That's not what you're supposed to do as a policeman. I know. I'm not a cop. My dad was a cop. My brother was a cop. I know you don't shoot someone unless you know what's in the background. And then they all miss him. And
now, as you say, now we are being told, or word is getting out that although there was gunfire, none of that gunfire may have come from the gunman.
That's right. No, let's pause that conversation. We're gonna get into that in a second. I just want to play this again and show you. So he pulls the gun, shoots, and I think that he hits this person back, this security person here, because that security person immediately falls. See that? Immediately falls, then tries to get back up and falls again. So I think that when they talk about a security person was shot in their bulletproof vest, I think that was probably the person. And it was shot by this guy, not the alleged assassin. Now, here's another crazy thing about this. They said he had a shotgun. So I don't know if you can tell. You can't really tell. But when he comes through there, maybe you can tell when I slow it down. Let me slow it down. What he has a shotgun that has a scope on it.
This is Joe. Joe has committed to less screen time and enjoying the moment.
So let's watch as he comes through. Let's see if we can see it. I should have blown this up.
In the film you showed me before, you could see a scope.
Okay. Let me see. Maybe this one you could see it. Yeah, maybe you could see it in this one. But when he comes out,
he looks very much like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction.
He really does. So here he comes.
Yeah,
so you can see it
clearly on the top.
So
of
he's got
that's
a
rifle.
So this is not a shotgun. If that's a shotgun, you don't put a scope on a shotgun. A shotgun sprays bullets everywhere.
Who has released this CCTV or
I got this off the RT's Twitter feed. So if that's a shotgun, why does he have a scope on it? That doesn't make sense. All right, so now you're talking about. So of course the agent on the lower left opens fire on his colleagues for really dropping the ball there. And what are the odds that metal detector didn't even go off? The guy shaved this morning so he could technically and literally tell a bald. So here, let's watch. Here's the new acting attorney general, Todd Blanche. And he's going to be asked about this. He's going to be asked about, hey, how many bullets did the guy fire? Where are the bullets? And let's listen.
Have you been able to determine whether the gunman fired shots? If so, how many shots he fired, and whose bullet hit the agent?
We want to get that right. So we're still looking at that. It appears, and I don't want to overstate because we are still looking at this, that there were five shots that law enforcement fired. We have all the evidence is being examined very carefully and expeditiously, and we'll know more soon. We do believe that, as the complaint lays out, that the suspect, that the defendant fired it out of his shotgun, and we know that that happened. But as
Glitch there
far
at
as
the
getting
bottom.
into exacting ballistics, I'm not going to do that today because it's still being looked at and finalized.
How hard is it?
Thank you for taking my...
How hard is it to take all the pistols from all the security people there, check the magazine
On
clips to
ballistics,
see how many
yeah.
bullets are missing?
There you go.
That'll tell you how many times they fired. Look at the ground for brass casings.
Another false
But
flag.
what do I know? I'm just a comedian. Here, there's more questions about this.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Just a little technical question. You mentioned that you guys, so far, you think that Alan fired at least one shot. That doesn't say that in the affidavit yet, so I'm just curious if you can explain the discharging of weapon charge at this point.
Well, he's charged with violating 924C, discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. So, by definition, that charge
What?
means that it was discharged. I can tell you from what I know, with the understanding that we're a day and a half in, that this is the gun that he discharged. And as those of us that have ever shot one of these know, what happens when you shoot that is the casing stays inside the firearm, and then if you reload it, it pops it out. My understanding is that it was inside the firearm, but hadn't been ejected, which means that it hadn't been pulled back again. But again, I want folks to understand I'm the acting attorney general. I'm not on the ground doing the investigation, so I'm telling you what I've been told, and we'll.
Yeah, as the acting attorney general, my job is to read the script and stand on my mark, waiting for the director to shout, "And in action."
If that information changes, I'm sure that we'll let you know.
So there'll be more gun
Just want to
laws.
ask about this letter that you posted yesterday.
So there's one more question. Here's one more question about the bullets and the gun.
One officer fired their weapon 5 times. Was that the only officer who discharged a firearm?
I want to be very careful in answering that question because this is when you do
Because I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Evidentiary collection and research, it is very complicated. So when you fire a bullet, the bullet ends up somewhere. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. And so from that, with that qualifier, we believe right now that there was 5 shots fired from the same firearm. But there's a team of folks
One
looking at
guy
this that are
shot
experts, and the
at a
evidence
threat to
collection
the
team
president?
that were in that area
That
of
makes sense.
of the hotel where the shots were fired have worked all night. They have the evidence they collected, but it's not an exact science from the standpoint that, for example, the buckshot, when that shot, it scatters everywhere. Sometimes it just disappears, actually, depending on where it hit.
Buckshot
I
disappears.
thought ballistics was a very exact science. I thought they'd been.
Not anymore.
Practicing ballistics as a science for a considerable period of time.
Well, this isn't ballistics, Neil. This is bullshitistics. That's what this is. And, hey, sometimes you find the bullet, sometimes you don't. It's not like they're out in the woods hunting squirrels. They're inside of a hotel hallway. Did you check all the other agents to make sure they didn't leave a few rattling around in them? You got to be kidding me. Maybe that dog knew to get as far away from the group brain damaged rodeo clowns. Go ahead.
It does look. It does. Why would you put that individual in front of anyone when they're clearly not in a position to give confident answers to any questions?
Keeping transmissions alive